rider, smoking blasters, flaming wands. We're living in a fantasy world. Great minds, we're getting against evil. Testing moral bounds as we expand our minds. Gluttons for Geekdom!
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Gluttons for Geekdom. I am Nick James.
Bobby Deuce.
I'm John. You sound like Liv Tyler.
Cool.
Last time we were talking to you, we
Get out of
went
my movie.
through some lists where we left off with. We're going through right now. Our first list is our least favorite superhero movies. So far, to recap, what was your number 5, Deuce?
My number 5 was Hulk.
I had Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I had Iron Man 3.
My number 4 was Hulk with Edward Norton.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
I also had Hulk with Edward Norton.
My number 3 was Daredevil.
Green Lantern.
Me too.
Yours is
Daredevil was number 3.
My number 2 is Batman and Robin.
Is that yours too?
That was also my number 2.
Wow. Again, I agree. It's bad nostalgia and the time that it came out. I don't know if I can say this.
Those are the dogs. The steroid dogs from Hulk.
Oh, yes, the Dougs. Dougs, do you like Dougs?
But nostalgia saves it for me. If
Yeah.
I'm gonna say anything saved, like if I'm gonna say nostalgia saved the Batman movie for me, it's Batman Forever. I'm gonna watch one of those movies from that realm of Batman. Why watch Batman and Robin when you can watch Batman Forever?
I'm sorry, but if I go back and I watch a movie that nostalgia is like, man, this movie is awesome, I'll sit there and be like, no, young Bobby Deuce, you're an idiot. Stop being a dumbass.
Which one?
I'm sorry. I'm like, I can't let nostalgia cloud my mind about anything that
I
out
can.
there.
But I still like
can't.
Batman Forever. Like it's not only a nostalgia thing. It was just like
Nostalgia
I like Batman
pushes
Forever.
that
So long-
movie
so
for me
long as
to a
it's-
good movie.
So long as it's enjoyable, that's fine.
But like
But
Batman and Robin for me isn't nostalgic except for the
It's enjoyable
the Freeze,
bad.
the Mr. Freeze lines.
It's kind of like for me watching Batman 66.
they're fun to watch, but I'm just
Okay.
like,
It's like watching I put it in the same kind of realm as the 66 and the fact that I'm watching this, and this isn't Batman. Not the Batman that I know, the one that we later got introduced cinematically, at least through Christopher Nolan. But it's there. It's still Batman. And, like, again, this is shit that I grew up on, so I can't.
make that
So,
comparison
it's
with
the
Batman
same-
66.
I can see that
I'm
because
sorry, but
like,
Batman
you know,
66
if
stands alone
If
to
I ate
me.
a hoagie and then I went and I watched Batman and Robin, I would totally love it.
Yeah.
Because like, I straight up sat there and I've gone on YouTube and
Oh man, how many
and I've
hoagies
watched
did you eat?
I watched like montages of all of Mr. Freeze's like puns and like 20 minutes worth of
Freeze.
puns, and I had the greatest time just like laughing my ass off.
Yeah,
So
no.
like I can see that, but like when it comes to the movie, it was so bad.
No, it's
When I compare it to the 66, I only mean that I go into it with a certain mindset
Okay,
to allow myself to enjoy it.
it's a movie.
I believe that.
It's a movie from beginning to end. It has to be a movie, and it has to deliver in certain qualities. As far as the Batman 66 series goes, I will sit there and I will watch it and I will enjoy it. It's campy. It's fun. It's like I didn't watch it when I was a kid. I saw maybe a few episodes there. I can't give it nostalgia because I don't have nostalgia with it. But I'm just like, this is pretty fucking silly.
Yeah.
To get in hooks.
Batman and Robin. I'm just like, this is bad. This is like I saw it multiple times as a kid, and as a kid I'm just like, hey, but I'm just like, no. Nowadays I'm just like, no. I'm like,
Chill.
I push myself down the steps.
Batman credit card. Batman has a credit card.
Push myself down the fucking
didn't-
steps
I
and
didn't
tell
like
myself to
that.
stop being a
The
fucking
rubber
idiot.
lips. Robin signal in the sky.
That's-
Uma Thurman, though, in that first, when she emerges as Poison Ivy, tears up that scenery, but killing that guy, like that whole first thing, I was like, Okay.
How about Bane?
Yeah, let's.
Fuck
well,
that,
no, not
yeah.
even. It'd be big. When he's going around the freaking bottom of the telescope placing bombs, and it's bomb, and he puts one down, takes a few steps, bomb, puts one down. Monkey business. Very hard to understand. Just bad. And again, got taken out the same way he kind of always does, in the fact that kick that tube in the back of his head.
Yeah.
Alicia Silverstone, suit me up, Uncle Alfred. Yeah, I could sit here and tear it apart all day, but I can't say that I hate
Like
it.
Mr. Freeze, who wants to freeze the world, is teaming up with Poison Ivy, who likes plants. It doesn't make sense.
No.
In my opinion,
I get where you're coming from on the funny part.
the silly qualities of the movie do not redeem it as a movie.
Yeah.
Because they weren't intended for the silliness. Not as much.
But,
I
like,
mean, they were.
I think
I don't know
I'll
what
stick
they were
with.
thinking.
I'll go back and I'll watch Batman Forever. But if I want something from that movie, I'll stick with my 15-minute Mr. Freeze
Okay.
montages on YouTube, because those for me are so hysterical.
Yeah, I don't think I'll turn on Batman and Robin. But there are just parts of it. Yeah, I can't let go. I can't say I hate it.
I like the suit. I don't like George
Bad
Clooney.
nipples. He was a good Wayne though.
I still like Val Kilmer better.
I do too.
Yeah.
But again, somebody else would be like, "Look at those lips. That's definitely Bruce Wayne." Like, he was crazy looking in Forever. And I think I just said to you, no, I'm still pretty down with Forever in its own right. And like I said, nostalgia pushes that to allow me to think it's a good movie. Nostalgia just won't let me hate Batman and Robin.
That's why I can't let nostalgia get in my way of I like movies.
Yeah.
And I like a good movie. And if a movie sucks, I'm not going to let nostalgia sit there and cloud my
I'm
judgment.
sure you have your fair share of shitty movies,
Yeah,
that
what
you
are they called?
enjoy. your guilty pleasures.
Yeah,
That's
guilty
the word.
pleasures. Yeah, they're guilty
'Cause
pleasures. so I'll
Everyone
just
has
sit there and
shitty movies. I have a few friends, you including. Have you ever seen Grind? It's like a skateboarding movie.
No.
Like the
Such
early
a guilty
2000s.
pleasure.
It's not a good movie.
No.
But for me, it was just so funny, and I have so many inside jokes with so many friends about it that it makes it to my guilty pleasures list, where it's bad, but I
Anytime
enjoy
somebody
it.
pisses me off, open your ears, jackass.
One of the
So good.
one of the movies that I used to love as a
Scoops
kid.
cheddar, one scoop on young, my friend.
One of the movies I used to love as a kid that I would say might fall into that category was The Hole. Does anybody remember The Hole?
No.
I remember Holes.
The Hole. It's pretty much like a kid just opens up a hole to hell, and demons and shit come out of it, and they're little claymation demons and stuff. I just remember a scene where it's just tiny little demons made out of clay just running around and stuff. Somehow they squeeze under the door. Close. It's a campy fucking movie, and I used to love it. I watched it years later, and I'm just like, what did I ever see in this? That's how nostalgia treats me sometimes. I'm just like, what
We
did I
got
ever
kicked
see
in the
in this?
dick by nostalgia.
Yeah.
I haven't been kicked in the dick by nostalgia too much recently. Even I went back. I watched Matilda.
I can't get Grind out of my head, and all I want to say is bean soup right away. The beans
Yeah.
again.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love this scene so fucking much. We're watching now,
Brendan Fraser just catch the knife.
the Mummy Returns, and the guy, one of the dudes, throws a knife at Brendan Fraser, and it just cuts to Brendan Fraser, and he's like, oh, he's already
Catches
caught
it
the
by
knife,
the tip.
the tip, and he just throws it back
it
and just
back.
right in this dude's chest. I'm sorry,
He pulls a low pan.
I geeked out about that so hard. I was like, yeah, oh, I love the Mummy
Low
movies.
pan.
Low pan.
I just watched
Low
Balls
pan.
of Fury today. Have you seen that?
I saw that.
It's about ping pong.
That's the
and,
ping pong movie.
Christopher Walken pretty much plays
Low
a
pan.
parody even on Low pan.
Oh my god! I
It's,
need to watch that.
Amazing.
Then. That sounds great.
Dude, it's the guy from Fanboys. Hutch, the hairy dude.
Oh
The long
really?
hair, yeah.
I fucking love that guy. He was
I
in Take Me
know.
Home tonight.
Yes.
Fuck
He's
yeah.
in Balls of Fury. It is good.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
One of my favorite scenes from this movie just passed up, where like the dude from the last movie, who's part of the Magi, meets up with the this guy right here. That guy right there is like, "Oh, that brain." And Alder Bane's like, "Look, no," and I was like, "Yeah," for whatever reason.
He is the voice, the guy from the Magi that you're talking about. He voices. I just had it in my head and it just left. On
Jafar?
Justice League. No, Justice League. Phantom. Gold helmet.
Oh, Captain Fate or
Dr. Fate.
Dr. Fate.
Thank you. Phantom. I don't know what that was. Yeah, Dr. Fate.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
So my number 2 is Hulk. I think we spent enough time. What is
Hulk.
your number 1 most unforgivable comic book movie? John Boy.
That's where I have Wolverine Origins.
All right. Do you want to go like we talked about it a little bit, but number 1 spot deserves extra time. Why is it number 1 most damn?
The CG, the walking from the explosion, they shit on every character. Just, I only watched it 2 times. I couldn't put myself to watch it through another time to pick at why I hate it more, because the first 2 times I watched it was enough. It was just, I didn't like Wolverine's hair in the movie, his stupid jacket, just so bad. They killed like the nice old people.
They did kill the nice old people.
The crew that he was rolling with, they had like the sniper guy. I was like, who?
Ace?
He can run fast.
Yeah, that didn't make sense. I hated. Do you remember when he first shows up in Canada again, and like he's still chewing this cheap cigars, and he pulls his gun really fast and shoots it and puts it back? It's like, cool. Why'd you just open fire on me at my job, dick? Like, and nobody. I don't know. Yeah, bad.
Plus, we already tore it apart with your number 2 or 3.
Yeah.
It was just bad movie.
Yeah.
Bad movie, bad characters.
Now, me and Deuce have the same, and we kind of broke the rules in a sense.
Well, he has 2. I just have 1, but his 2 still encompasses my 1.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to say the reason
How did
why.
that make it on mine? You guys mentioned it too, and I think like I like Nicolas Cage, so I just like Ghost Rider wasn't that
I
bad.
can't
but
believe that's
Ghost,
came out of your mouth.
it was pretty bad.
The whole thing. Okay, Nicolas Cage is a hit or miss sort of actor for me. Like I liked him in damn, I can't remember the name of the movie. He walks around with a bow and arrow on his back. Weatherman, yes. You should always carry more than
great.
$1.
Michael Caine was his dad.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And he's such an unforgivable
I
father.
remember the movie, but I didn't
It was
see
pretty
it.
good.
I enjoyed.
I think
the
that's
shit
why
out of it.
that's why I like Nicolas Cage. I like how he just like he'll just do bad movies, but then he'll do really good movies.
I like
He just doesn't give a
National
damn.
Treasure. I enjoyed watching that.
Gone in
But
60
The
Seconds.
first one,
The first one.
not the second.
No.
The
Didn't
first
watch-
one is
didn't
one
watch
of the
Gone in 60
best
Seconds.
Gone in
movies.
60 Seconds was
And
the
if it
teens.
wasn't for National Treasure, I wouldn't have one nice thing to say about him. But then he
How about
does.
Face Off?
No, fuck that.
You don't like Face Off?
It has John
Oh.
Travolta in it. I can't
love
stand him
Face
either. Big Daddy though is his other.
Yes,
Saving
he is
Grace.
Big Daddy. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now the reason why it just ruins, like this movie is just terrible, is because Ghost Rider is a pretty cool character.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
he's
know. I don't
pretty
know.
awesome.
I don't know much about him. I have a secret love for anything biblical, and so like he just like the things that he puts out there, his penance stuff. He's the flaming skull. There's hell and heaven and all that type of stuff, and throwing that into a comic book, making a story out of it. That's awesome. I want to see more of that. He rides.
Supernatural.
Yeah, he rides around on a fucking motorcycle on fire, goes up buildings. He has a chain as a weapon. Like on paper, he sounds pretty fucking righteous. Nicolas Cage was a guy who plays Ghost Rider.
When he's looking in the mirror and like he holds his nose up and then like chomps his teeth and goes,
Yeah,
It's
like,
like,
You know why that movie like really didn't make it on my list? Is because I haven't seen it. I only watched them. I watched them each one time. How long ago?
Oh, I don't remember.
Like, when did they come out? I saw them each
Wow.
one time in theater one time. Like,
Oh.
like, that was the only time I saw them, the
Nice.
first time they came out. So, like, I don't remember all the bad shit that happened in that movie.
Well, the
So please
reason-
refresh my memory.
No, I put the second one on there, and the reason I think I got away with it is because I only made it 15 minutes in, and I did it. It would be almost considered a pity fuck, if you will. I just the only reason I even turned it on was it's Marvel, you know. So I should watch it just so I at least know, and couldn't get through it. Now in the first one, like I said, he's so old, and he just looks old to be an extreme sports guy. So like they go through his entire origin with his dad, and he's all sick and shit. And then he makes a deal with the devil for his soul to make his dad better. And of course, since you make a deal with the devil, he fucks you on it. So yes, he didn't have cancer anymore, but he still died in a crash.
Yeah.
He had to go away from his love, who grows up into Eva Mendes. And maybe that's the reason why I can watch that movie, because Eva Mendes is in it.
Yeah, I was just watching Too Fast, Too Furious. I
Hi,
was like,
Eva.
Hey, Eva Mendes.
Yeah. That's another reason Hitch. I can get through that movie. I'm like, hey,
Yeah, I can't watch it because of Eva Mendes. Because I'm like, what are you doing with
No.
Nicolas Cage? What are you doing with Nicolas Cage? Get out of here!
Yeah.
You're ruining my. You're ruining my.
Especially when he says that line too, he asks her out. He's like, "Do you still like Italian?"
Yeah.
And like they don't explain that as a back joke or anything. He's just really strange about it.
So one of Nicolas Cage's weird movies that for some reason is like people like it.
Wicker Man?
No. It was older one. It was called Bad Lieutenant. Eva Mendes is in it, and
shit.
like he's just like this horrible, like dirty cop, and like there's this one scene he gives Eva Mendes like his old crack spoon. It was so weird, man. Don't watch it.
I won't.
If you don't like Nicolas Cage, don't watch it.
Okay.
Like, it was fucking bizarre movie.
I can't
Exhibit
stand
Exhibit was in it.
Exhibit was in there.
So it can't be that old.
It was weird. It looked like it was maybe early 2000s.
Weird.
Yeah.
Just no bueno. Not good. Stay
fuck that.
away.
I remember like there was like one of the bad guys was like a dude who can go into like water. He like
Yeah,
goes
he
into
got
water,
like
right?
elemental kind of
Okay.
demons. So he had
Hydrogen
wind, earth, water.
Earth, fire, wind, water, heart.
Yeah. No.
Cool.
Combine their powers, Captain Planet.
Captain
Ghost
Planet,
Rider versus Captain
He's a
Planet.
hero. Gonna take
Don Cheadle's Captain Planet.
You better behave or I'm going to turn you into a fucking tree.
You better not call
Oh,
me
did
again.
you see that
Must
meme?
want some more of that pain.
Where it's Iron Man and he's like, if anybody has any super special powers that they want to unleash now, now's the time. And it's Don Cheadle smiling as Captain Planet.
Yes.
Imagine War Machine lands, the thing goes up and it's Captain Planet. Yeah, that'd be dope.
Chris Evans turns on fire.
So that's the bad. We had to get through
speaking
it.
of Ghost Rider, did you see Norman Reedus wants to be Ghost Rider?
I saw
I
that,
could deal with that.
but I don't.
I'd like to see that.
I don't Walking Dead, so I can't.
He doesn't walk.
He's in
the
Blade
dead.
2. Norman Reedus.
Oh yeah, he's Scud.
Yeah.
He's such a
I
grimy
love
looking
Blade
dude.
2.
Though.
Guillermo
I can only see him
del Toro,
rolling around
Ron
in filth
Perlman.
the entire time.
Vampires.
Yeah.
Steve
Nomak.
looks so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Banshees. Vampires. I hate vampires. Oh,
Yeah, the idea of vampire hybrids.
I
is
remember
cool.
I got in a lot of trouble. I had to do an assignment where you watch a movie and you had to find sentences in it. One was like questionative, one with a noun, whatever. And I did it off of that. And there was a curse in one of them. I got in a lot of trouble.
Ooh, Nichole.
Yeah.
Nicholas.
But anyway, that was the bad. That's the movies that we didn't like. We don't really like
Now
to
we're going
bring
for the
bring down, but
Both you guys on Ghost Rider?
Ghost
we're
Rider.
both on Ghost Rider, yeah. So let's go through our top 5 of favorite superhero movies. Number 5.
Is your phone charged there, John? Do you know what you got? Are you taking pollution down to 0?
My number 5 was. I think I put Deadpool number 5.
Deadpool number 5.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Deadpool's there.
I saw it too many times. It's not on my list.
I just watched it for the second time last night. I was like, man, Like
You only
Deadpool was
watched
cool,
it
man.
twice, John?
Yeah, well, I listened to it like a dozen times. But I only watched it 2 times, and watching it for the
Fucking
second time last
ruined the
night, that
soundtrack
movie
for him.
was grade A. Like all the references were on point. It was good, fun, and on top of that, the reason why I'm glad it made it to my top 5 list is it was my least anticipated comic book movie this year
True.
because I wasn't the biggest Deadpool fan. I felt like he was a little bit overrated. Going into the movie, I was like, I'm going to see it. I wasn't that excited, and when I got out, I was like, this is fucking great. Right now, I put it over Batman Superman as a movie. I put it over X-Men Apocalypse as a movie this year.
I would say, I really loved Deadpool, but unfortunately, it was overhyped for me. And anytime a movie is overhyped, it's like, why is it so good? So I'm sitting there, and
So it's not on your list?
no, it's not on my list.
Well, I'll just say now it's on.
For it all.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It's my number 3.
Your number 3.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed that movie, and like you said, didn't see it coming. Knew who Deadpool was. I think that I got the most Deadpool from Hulk versus. If you've seen that animated,
I did
the
see
one
that
is
one.
Thor, the other one is Wolverine,
Yeah, Deadpool shows up in the Wolverine one. Right?
and Omega Red and Lady Deathstrike, and Wolverine's there, obviously. So, from that guy, he was the merc with the mouth, and that's the first time that I really got exposed to that. And then when I saw X-Men Origins, I was like, oh, all right, well, that was weird. Learned more about him because he was in a Spider-Man video game, and he was breaking the fourth wall, and I was like, all right, that's fucking weird. Learn more
Shattered
about
Dimensions,
him. So yeah, thank you.
which is an awesome game, by the way.
Great game. So when I saw that,
I'm actually I will mention that game when it comes to my top 5 superheroes.
nice. So yeah, didn't see it coming. It came, and I liked it. So that's my number 3, but my number 5 was Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Solid.
He didn't
Can
make
watch
he
that
didn't make my
movie
list at all either.
over and over, and it's still so good. It's the foundation. It is where everything thus has come, and it is solid.
It's a solid movie.
If somebody
yes.
said, "Get me, where do I start? What do I fucking start at the beginning?" This is something like you could skip some middle, but start at Iron Man. It gives you the whole tone, and you could skip a lot, but got to start at the base. And
I need to rewatch that one.
Oh, I do.
Because I only saw that one maybe once or twice as well, like when it was first came out, which was probably 04.
Very, yeah.
And even up until recently, I think last year, I found out his the villain / his father figure type dude throughout the movie was Jeff Bridges, and
Yeah.
I didn't even remember that.
Man.
And now that I think,
Yeah,
I'm like,
dude, he's my
why
cousin.
didn't I remember it was fucking Jeff Bridges? That's how insignificant the movie was to me. I just didn't watch it.
I call him Jeffy
recently,
Deuce.
so I don't remember. Jeff Deuce.
I
Jeffy
definitely
Deuce.
remember seeing that in theater, and I just wow.
I don't even think I got to see it in theater.
Oh, I
the
did.
First one.
I remember.
Jeff Bridges was fucking righteous in that movie.
He was. Like I
He's
said,
got a good voice. I love him in Tron.
Oh, me too.
and then that's where we also, no disrespect Don Cheadle, we get Terrence Howard, who I think carried the role just as well. And I enjoyed
I think
that.
better, honestly. I like Don Cheadle. I've said it before. I've seen him in really good movies. I don't personally like him as War Machine. I like Terrence Howard better.
But we haven't seen Terrence Howard as War Machine.
I know, which sucks.
Just his roads. Yeah.
But just the idea of it, I liked him, and I just think, I don't know, something about Don Cheadle for me doesn't look like he fits in like a superhero thing, other than
I think it's what it is.
That's how I felt.
Captain Planet,
That's how I
but
felt
the
about. That's how I
Captain
felt
Planet
about
thing.
Paul Rudd. But then he pulled off Ant-Man like nobody's business.
true. I don't know, something about him as Rhodes,
Well, I've never been down with them changing actors during if they're gonna
maybe it's because I got
Radical
so
stuff.
attached to Terrence Howard in that first
Hustle and
movie.
Flow?
And Hustle and Flow, yeah. Maybe it's also because I'm biased with Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. But Don Cheadle's cool.
He did from one movie to the other. Rose just got dark as shit. He stopped being 10, became midnight.
They pulled a Fresh Prince.
All right, so you're number 5.
Weird.
My number 5. I said it already.
You said it.
It was
your
Deadpool.
turn.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
Deadpool, and yours was Iron Man. Wow, I can't believe I. Jeez, my
What's
number 5
your
was
number
my number
5?
5 was Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Really,
Doc Ock.
really good. Solid movie.
Fuck yeah.
Doc Ock. I love. The reason why I liked it is because number one, Spider-Man is just awesome. Seeing him on a big screen is just fantastic. The first one I enjoyed a lot, but the second one it was better. He was already Spider-Man. You didn't need an origin story. I didn't like Kirsten Dunst as
I've never
Mary
been
Jane.
the biggest fan of Kirsten Dunst.
But I was like, whatever. I could take it or leave it. But you got, and I didn't like Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker. But it's, I can understand the choice. But the story trumps it. You have Doc Ock with his wife, and
Good shit.
his transformation to Doc Ock, going crazy. The fight scenes were just beautifully
That's a
done.
scary scene when like he's passed out and the arms take over and fuck up all the doctors.
I was gonna mention that director, was it Sam Raimi? I think
Yeah.
it was. He mainly did horror movies.
Yeah.
So when I was watching that scene specifically, it was just so classic horror movie, just visually.
Well-
They would zoom into the people's faces as they were screaming.
and
It was fucking
fingernails
awesome.
getting dragged into the darkness, leaving fingernails
Yeah.
There's that one
Ooh, I get to finally do a horror movie in
Yeah.
this. Yeah, a nice horror
and
scene.
it was that's really
It was
good.
pretty tough. And then one of my favorite scenes at the end after Doc Ock gets his mind back, and he's all like, "Peter Parker, brilliant but lazy." I just love the way Alfred Molina just delivers that line.
And yeah, it's got that kind of smile of recognition, like I'm
Brilliant
okay.
but lazy.
Yeah,
And he's like,
I
"Oh,
remember.
I did this.
Yeah,
I gotta fix
listen
the problem." And then
to me now, and you're just
you listen to me now.
yeah, it's
like that.
very powerful.
And he
it's
takes
the
takes
sun
down
and
the
shit.
sun and hit him into the water, and I'm just like, yeah, oh, it's a nice redemption story for this
Poetic.
one. Yeah, he still dies. I'm just like, I can get behind that.
But then-
Any day of the week, I'd watch.
After that, they get into a giant web, and Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire stare at each other, and you're just like, meh.
Well, the movie ends when Doc Ock dies, so I'm like, all right, whatever.
All right, shut it off.
9 times out of 10, I will stop a movie after the climax. I don't cuddle.
I don't. My number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy. Can't wait for the second one. I think James Gunn, who looks suspiciously a lot like the guy from Flash. He looks a lot like what's his name? Wells. He looks like Dr. Wells a little bit. I think. Yeah, hell yeah. Sorry to break off. Guardians has one of the best soundtracks. Has one of the best stories in the fact that I didn't know anything about them and didn't really need much more of an origin than they gave you. And I was on board with everybody. And by the end, I was just like, this is great.
Apparently, it was pretty accurate. I had a friend that before the movie came out, he went and he read through a bunch of the comics, and then he told me about how the movie did. Grade A, it was so well done, and that's why for me it stands in the same rank.
And again, at
Put
the
it
time,
at number 4.
it was the Deadpool. That's your number 4 too?
Yeah.
Is it on your list?
No,
Oh, okay. So still 2 out of 3. Yeah.
I do like
That was a
Guardians of the
high
Galaxy, though.
It was the Deadpool of the time in the sense that we just talked about, didn't see it coming. They announced Guardians, and it was just like, okay,
I was sold on the cast.
really?
Yep.
I
When I
wasn't.
saw the cast, I was just like, give me that.
No. Vin Diesel was not as beloved. I'm not a huge Vin Diesel fan. The Fast movies, okay. I'm happy they're making them. I like him better in The Pacifier than I do in Fast and Furious.
Who was he again?
He was Groot.
So why would it matter if he was all he says is I'm Groot?
I didn't know that at the time. Then I saw Bradley Cooper,
The only one
and
that
I was like, okay.
sketched out
Zoe
about
Saldana,
was I was sketched out about
Batista?
He was my only one that I was sketched out about, and he was great.
The silly,
didn't
the
watch
silly thing
wrestling,
about
so I
that is
didn't
he's
fucking
the
know.
only guy who he's the only one of those actors where I'm just like, why are they in this? And he has
goes over my head.
exactly he has some of the best lines that nothing goes over my head.
But I didn't know anything about him. Zoe Saldana, I saw as an alien already, and I was just like, okay, I get it.
I like her in Star Trek.
The only thing that I saw Chris Pratt in, he was still in his kind of pudgier phase, so I was like, I from that
Was
cast,
it
I didn't
the one
really know.
with him and Vince Vaughn?
Correct. What was that called? The mailman, the
I
delivery
watched
man.
it with you here.
It was only with that last time I seen Chris Pratt was in Parks and Rec.
Yeah, for me it
Was
was
still, yeah. So I had no idea, and this movie came out, and afterwards, just the same Deadpool effect of I need to know more.
I just loved seeing like, yeah, Chris Pratt, get buff, be an action hero, fucking A.
Dude, and he does.
He was so awesome.
Boom,
great.
boom, hooked on a
Bradley
feeling. and
Cooper
it's
caught me
ripped.
off guard as Rocket.
Mm-hmm.
He was funny as Rocket. Mike Rooker as Yondu. Like there was just so many people that I was like excited for. What's her
John
name?
C. Riley.
Yeah, he was great.
Wide
He was
clothes.
so funny.
The thing that I really liked about Guardians of the Galaxy is that it wasn't overhyped by the trailers.
True.
Like we've talked about the trailers many times before in Gluttons of Geekdom, how the trailers can make a movie look awesome, but then you see the movie and it doesn't deliver. The movie delivered.
Iron Man 3.
The movie delivered its fucking ass off, like Iron Man 3.
Whack.
Weak sauce, but I was like, it didn't make it onto my list, but I appreciate and I love the fuck out of that movie.
Word.
What did make it to your number 4?
Age of Ultron.
Nice.
I just love the ensemble cast of the Avengers movies. Like I think all the people who play those characters do them well, and they look fantastic on screen together. And they
But you put like
They
Age
act-
of Ultron over Civil
Fan-
War? I mean, that was an ensemble cast.
over Civil War. I mean, I had only seen Civil War once. I have to see it multiple times before I can give it. Its.
I do
thing.
like Ultron because I like Ultron as the villain over like the guy who turns them against each other. Like it was cool to see them fight each other, but Ultron, some of the greatest lines in like those movies, just so menacing and like
When he cuts off the arm and no, I'm sorry, but why? Why would you say that?
yeah,
And then you get to
Robert California.
you get to see, and you also get to see the Hulk fighting the Iron Man and his Hulkbuster. He fights Iron Man
That's
in the
true.
Hulkbuster.
Yeah, that was something that was like
So I'm just like when I see that.
anticipated.
Vision being born and not wearing sweaters.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was
All right, yeah, you got some key points.
awesome things that were going on in that movie.
And I like
Wanda
that when I
shows
saw
up.
that one like 3 times in theater. Age of Ultron. Fuck yeah.
See, that's higher on my list. Like I could see why, but no, Civil War is higher on my list. I like that better.
See, I bought Civil War because I was like, man, it had Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Black Panther,
Correct.
like Falcon, like that was awesome. But I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Like I need to see Civil War more times before I can actually like be like, okay, this movie is fucking awesome.
I get you. Like Civil War is not on my list. I
Yeah.
liked it, but it's not on my list.
Are you ready for?
Number Trace. Go ahead, you have your phone open.
I'm gonna go with Avengers, the first one. The reason why I put it on my list is because when the movie was coming out, the only character that I knew about was Iron Man. Everybody else, except for the Incredible Hulk, I'm like, why do I give a fuck about these people? I've never watched, I've never read any sort of Captain America thing. I've never like gone into Hawkeye or Black Widow.
Yeah.
And when they threw him out there, Loki, Thor, I'm like, whatever. I'm like, I've always thought it was lame for Thor to be a character in like this comic book universe. In a universe where Spider-Man swings around on web and he's in New York, why is there a fucking god in here? That's what
Why are they squaring off? Yeah,
I'm like, why? That always weirded me out.
So to see that kind of team come together.
Watching the movie, it was so beautifully done. It was so beautifully done. Like I am like Captain America is so he was the tits. He's the tits for me right now because the shit that he does in that movie is
For me,
just
his
fucking awesome.
movies are the best ones.
Yes,
Out of the whole cinematic
I'm like
universe.
anytime Captain America is on screen, I'm like, yes, let's do it. And just seeing him and Spider-Man go down with each other, I'm like, yes, fucking A. It's just awesome because Captain America, he's one of those superheroes who has but also doesn't have powers.
yeah.
In an odd sense of the way you other superheroes have powers. So yeah, around with normal people, he's gonna kick some ass. But you put him with the team that he has, and he might draw the short end of the straw every now and then as being powerful. But then he's over here holding his own, doing some awesome shit. The fucking shield tuck, which I never stopped talking about. I still can't talk about it. I still can't stop talking about it. Then the scene where they throw down, where the
grenade.
Chitauri throw down the grenade there in the bank, and like he just beats them all up, and he just jumps up in the air, tucks up behind the shield, and gets blown out the fucking window. I'm like, whoo! Every time I just goosebumps every time. Shield tuck, grenade slap. Every time. That movie put Captain America on the map for me. It taught me about Thor. It showed me a Hulk that I actually enjoy watching on screen.
That's what I was going
That
to say.
cap
Mark
suit
Ruffalo
didn't put him
came
on the
in.
map. That cap suit was fugly in that movie. I don't like that original cap suit.
And awesome. It also made Hawkeye one of the most awesome. Every time he's in a movie, a Marvel movie, especially with that cast, he steals the scene.
Well, he stole it from me for Ultron, for sure.
In Ultron is when he picked up. I didn't like him, and I honestly didn't like the first Avengers movie that much. I don't hold it to high regard. It was
That's
cool
crazy.
seeing them meet up, but yeah, I like the way Guardians formed better in the cinematic universe in jail. Like,
That's true. My number 3 was Deadpool, which we already said.
my number 3 was Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Nice.
It's great shit.
Again, yeah, another
like
good
it.
cab.
One of the reasons I put it over Civil War is I like the Winter Soldier as that bad guy, very ominous, didn't say much. Granted, I did like his kind of buddy-ish thing, especially when the three of them, Falcon, Cap, and him became friends. But nothing beats how scary he was in the Winter Soldier, man. Like he
whole thing
he damn near kills Nick Fury. Like he was out for blood in that movie.
I
Awesome.
just didn't like the reveal at the end. I don't like the Winter Soldier as a character.
That's why I said I liked him as a villain, not so much as him trying to be saved so he can be his best friend again.
At the end of the movie, I'm just like, because I thought Winter
Wait,
Soldier,
what reveal?
who he was.
Yeah, well, you knew who he was halfway through the movie. You knew he was Bucky Barnes.
But I just didn't like that. It rubbed me the wrong way. This is as I said, it put Captain America on the map for me. I don't know too much about Captain America. And anytime his movies are some of the best ones, in any of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. But what they are doing with I don't like Bucky Barnes. Anytime he's on scene, I'm just not game for it. So the action scenes in Civil War were awesome, and the action scenes with Captain America and Winter Soldier were awesome. But I don't need any Winter Soldier in any of my movies.
I think you're gonna get him a lot more.
I hope he stays frozen. Keep him in that carbonite.
He comes out like Austin Powers, pisses so long.
Evacuation, come. Evacuation, come. Evacuation, come.
I'd be happier if in the next Marvel movie when he gets defrosted, it just Han Solo falls out of the carbonite. Oh, what the fuck happened
Walt
here?
Disney.
Yeah.
He falls down the shaft after he gets killed, and he doesn't. We find out he doesn't really die. He just ends up in a Marvel movie.
Word. So where were we again?
2.
So we're done. We're done with our number 3s.
Well, mine was Deadpool, yeah.
Yeah,
We
and
already
yours
talked about
was
it.
Guardians.
My number 3 was Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Yeah, that's right. It just gets so muddled in my head because we're all talking. It's this Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's just some kind of turns into one big movie to me.
Yeah. Well, now we're actually. It's a little bit different because my number 2 is Watchmen.
Watchmen.
It's yours too?
That's my number 1.
I
That's your
didn't.
number
I,
one,
didn't I
nice.
never. I didn't think about that movie when I made this list, but it's very, very, very high up there. Like thinking about it, there's some things. Like my number 2 is The Dark Knight, and there are things that are going on in Watchmen, like the way, like we were talking about before with Night Owl, the way he moves and the way he fights. I'm just like, man, why wasn't Christian Bale doing that shit as Batman?
Yeah.
that I was like, man, just every scene. I would just take every scene where you see Batman and just edit him out and
put
edit
in
a
Night
scene,
Owl.
edit a scene with Night Owl in there.
But like Night Owl, he's like, all right, in this scene we're gonna put Big Daddy.
So the entire time it's not Batman, it's just Night Owl and Big Daddy. Just the scenes don't really work, but it's like fuck it, they're still more cool. They're still more badass than Batman. Like the whole thing's like in the Dark Knight trilogy, Batman was the least cool character. He was still fucking cool, but
He was outshadowed by the villains. If you ask me.
I thought Ra's al Ghul was cool. I thought Bane was awesome, and Heath Ledger's Joker just steals the show every time. That's the whole reason why I watched the movie, because
even what's his face? Two-Face was fucking awesome.
oh man,
Yeah.
Like
Two-Face was
when
fucking
he gets in the car and he just puts his seatbelt
damn
on.
that card.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, you're a lucky man. Can't say it.
He's not.
He's not.
Who?
Your driver. I'm just like,
That's badass.
and I mean, just like that's the way I see the Joker to me. That's what the Joker is in my eyes. Just some guy who just creates chaos.
Yeah, I was just telling Nick I rewatched Dark Knight recently, and I also watched like a big chunk of Dark Knight Rises recently. I continue to have this like this battle between which one's better, Batman Begins or The Dark Knight. I mean, obviously you know
Dark Knight takes
Batman Begins didn't make a list. I really like Batman Begins, but for me visually, Dark Knight is just fucking phenomenal.
That
And
opening
the
is all you need.
The acting, like
Well, the whole thing is that in, like I said, Christian, like the Batman and the Dark Knight trilogy movies isn't very gripping to me. I love the movies. I'm just like whatever for whenever Batman's on scene. He does awesome stuff. Cool. But it's a lot of times what drives Batman for me are his villains, and in the first movie there really was none. Like Ra's al Ghul was there, but he shows up for a scene, dip out, some more bad shit happens, he shows up for a scene, dips out. And Dark Knight, Joker is always fucking there fucking with Batman. And he delivers each line perfectly, steals the scene every time he's there, and you're just like, this is not a Batman movie, this is Joker just being awesome on the silver screen.
true that.
Well, I think that another thing about that movie is too, and the reason why we don't really care about Batman as much is that if you were to take the Batsuit off of him and even take the war makeup off of Joker, but to keep those scars and still even call him Joker, it'd still be a great movie.
Yeah.
Even if, you know, Bruce Wayne was just grizzled detective or just something like that, and it's just a
And
cop
Joker was just
movie,
like this crazy guy.
it's
Yeah.
still a great fucking movie. And that's why, because, like, if you take Batman out, you know, it's just... But if you still have this crazy guy with these crazy scars going around blowing shit up, and,
This crazy plan.
you know, that ultimatum at the end of them blowing up the boats is... It's sick, man. That's fucking sick.
And one of my favorite things about it is the thing that I like the most about Joker, and what was something that I didn't like in The Killing Joke, is that he never really has a definite origin story. You want to know how I got these scars, and then the story just changes. And like he only says that twice in the movie. Well, he says you want to know how I got these scars 3 times. Well, he only gives a story twice in the movie.
No, because I know how you got these.
Yeah, that sort of thing, and all that type of shit.
But we'd assume that he was about
But
to
yeah,
tell a very
another
story.
different story and stuff.
I just
like
something.
I like Joker not having an origin story, just being some guy out there. He does some crazy shit, and it's very, very influential. Like when Joker does something, shit goes down.
Word.
And I like that you don't know who he is. He's just a guy who shows up on a scene, and when he shows up on a scene, doesn't matter where he came from. Now that he's here, things are gonna happen.
I just read something, and it was Batman got the chance to ask some all-knowing being 2 questions, and it was who killed my parents, and just like Joe Chill. He says, all right, and what is the true identity of the Joker? And he reads it, and they don't tell you all. It says, is, no, it can't be him. So I like that even more, that yes, there is an answer, but they still don't even give it to you.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, he's got to be somebody. But yeah, I agree with you. Just the fact of not truly knowing just adds kind of every time.
That's just Nick. That's just Nick. He's not even trying anymore. He's just
Yeah.
like, oh, the force just comes out of me now. Just seeps out of my asshole and onto your fucking cup.
But Watchmen made it for my number 2 because I could watch that over and over.
Me too.
And pull something out of it. And it doesn't matter the mood either, because I can almost grab any mood out of it. And it's just so spot on in terms of what I think an adaptation has to be in order to work for a movie.
Yeah, like the minor changes I feel were necessary and might have been like the atom bomb happening because of him showing up, of Dr. Manhattan showing up, for me was a lot more plausible than a alien space monster.
Yes.
So I think for moviegoers, for people who are just gonna go watch a movie, I think the alien thing would have just been unsettling, and they wouldn't have
Especially
enjoyed
for
it
an
as
ending
much.
of a 3.5-hour movie of shit that they really didn't know. That, like, I think that's why it didn't do as well as it should have. Because if you're someone like us, you knew what you were going in for. You knew that there was going to be giant blue dick throughout this whole movie.
I hadn't even read it before that movie came out.
Oh,
The
really?
nice,
Yeah.
the
I remember
sick, the
just
sick
watching
thing.
the trailer and I was like, "This looks fucking amazing."
Yeah.
And
Is that-
then I
that's
went,
a-
I read it twice. I read it in high school, wrote a paper on it in high school, watched it like so many times. I ended up like falling in love with it.
That's one of the comic book movies where I actually like. There's some movies out there. There are some characters that the movies brought them to my attention. So let me look at. I'll look into this person. I never actually do. Watchmen was something that I actually did look into, and it's like the comic book is just as great as the movie.
I remember I read it, hadn't for a while, was living in Florida when it came out, and my roommate ended up getting, like, not an animation, you know how it's like it's a moving comic book kind of deal, and they've done a lot since then. They did an X-Men series that was on Netflix for a while. I have Wolverine versus the Ultimate, or Wolverine Origins too. It's very strange.
Yeah, it's like
But he
comic
had that-
panels that kind of move.
Correct. Yeah, it's very strange, but he had Watchmen, and we watched that before he saw the flick, and that was really cool. But yeah, when you watch it, if you didn't know what you're getting into, you sat there for 3.5 hours, and a giant alien monster was kind of the conclusion. I think they would have had a hard time if they did. I think the atom bomb kind of made more sense. The Dr. Manhattan striking made a lot more sense. And then, you know, it's just the same great twist at the end that I loved about the book of, you know, run anything, Rorschach's journal, a comedian dies in New York. And the end of the book is just the beginning of the book. And I like that. I love that flick.
Yeah, that movie, just, man, like visually, the lines. When I first, everything, like the more I watched it, like my opinion started changing on all the characters. Like originally, Rorschach was like my favorite. I just like loved how crazy he was. But like now, at the point that I am, I like love Dr. Manhattan. Like,
He's such a philosophical character.
yeah, he's just transcended.
Existential.
He's transcended like everything.
I love anything
So
existential, and like Dr. Manhattan just sells that shit so hard. And like it's again, it's one of those movies I told you before that movie has my favorite trailer, and the movie delivers on the trailer.
Word.
Song doesn't appear in the movie at all, but I will never ever not give a fuck.
Well, I just saw
I'll never,
another
ever give
thing
a fuck.
too about songs that went up due to movies, and Watchmen was on there for that song, even though it didn't appear. Just being in the trailer rose the song to.
The
Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins.
And same thing happened with Salt and Pepper.
The beginning is the end is the beginning.
Deadpool
I
came
believe
out.
that, dude. I had like 2 or 3 friends that, like
I'm
a
one
week
of them.
later they
I bought it.
downloaded
Yep.
the like Salt and Pepper like greatest hits and shit.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah, I actually did get that Smashing Pumpkins song after I heard it. I was like, yeah, this is great. And I just think about that movie every fucking time, that trailer.
Such a good
I
movie.
just listened to the soundtrack, like the what's it called, like the score, like specifically the song when Dr. Manhattan is like talking about his origins.
Yeah.
It's fantastic music throughout that movie.
One of my favorite satirical things that makes me laugh every single time is that back in the day in comics, a big popular thing was to do ads. So they do ads for like Hostess pies. Was a really big one. And it was like, you know, Batman catches the bad guy. Well, I couldn't have done it without the strength of my Hostess pie. You know, shit propaganda like that. So somebody did a satirical one of Dr. Manhattan on Mars. And it's so funny. I'll try to look it up for a better one next time. But it's, I have these Hostess pies in my hand. They are glazed with a good, delicious frosting. I will open one in 2 seconds. The warm texture inside will glaze my lips. Cherry, my favorite. And like,
That is so good.
and it's so long. It's a full page of him speaking in that dry, satirical, full tone, and it is one of the funniest things. I drop the wrapper. By the time it reaches the ground, the food has hit my stomach. I am full. It's so good.
I love shit like that. That's why I love American Psycho so much, because that's how like that movie goes. It's like
The fucking business cards.
yeah, like from the door when he's like getting ready for work, he talks about like his morning routine. He's like, I put this scrub on my face, then I take a shower, then I do this workout, and like
Yeah.
it's so good.
So that gets your number 1 spot, but what got your number 2?
Blade.
Blade.
When I first heard that, I was happy it's on your list because I'm happy we're talking about it. Because, yes, a lot of people say Spider-Man and X-Men hit, and they're the first great comic book movie.
Dude, I thought
Fuck
about
your
it, man.
mouth.
I
Blade
literally
is-
sat there when I was coming up with my list, and I was like, I want to put an X-Men movie on here. X-Men made it to like my top favorite like heroes, you know. But as a movie, even Days of Future Past, which was one I was like most excited for, I read the issues like 1,000 times before the movie came out. Just as a movie, was not as
Which one?
well. You know, Days of Future Past. You know, that was for me one of my favorite X-Men movies. Just it still didn't cut it as a good top tier movie like the other 4 did. You know, the other 5 on my list. You know, even X2, I was like, can X2 make it on there? But the Nightcrawler scene from the beginning doesn't save it to put it on my top 5 favorite movies. You know, like
Puts it high, but it does.
It was
save
fucking
and
awesome,
push it,
but
not
you
that.
know, not one of
great.
my favorite movies. You know, which sucks because X-Men, I fucking love it. Anytime Magneto is on screen, you know, I fucking love it. Especially once Fassbender becomes Magneto, like. Every time he's on screen, he steals it, but it didn't redeem the movies enough to make them, you know, top 5 movie quality.
They're a breed of their own.
Yeah.
They really are, and I think it's a line. You know, if it were comics by now, just give it to somebody else. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not hitting the head where you guys need to be right now. You're doing okay, but
Yeah, and it's not even a thing of like me disliking them.
yeah,
Because I liked X-Men First Class. I liked Days of Future Past, X2, X1. But, I don't know. Just as a movie, I'd rather watch Winter Soldier. I think it was so good from the action to the thriller aspect. I like all the political stuff. I think that was one of the things I did like about X2, the political factor of it. And the political stuff also came in Days of Future Past, you know, with the presidency and all these background projects. It was cool. But Winter Soldier stole it for political thriller superhero movies.
but Blade. Back to that. When those came out, I remember like that was the '90s. Shit like that wasn't really seen before.
Nope.
And Deacon Frost is freaking sick.
Yeah.
And just the, you know, I think Buffy might have been around and popular, and like, this is how we kick vampires. This guy was just like, nah, this is how we take care of fucking vampires.
When he steps on the scene that first like time at the club,
with all the blood inside, like that,
and like that
opening scene is
iconic
awesome.
Blade song, like that is the
Yeah.
iconic Blade song right
Yeah.
there, and it was just, nothing
And
takes
there's
that away. Man.
ashing all around, and
Love it, man.
and
Love
then it goes on to spawn 2 sequels,
yeah,
which
I
are
still
both
love.
strong in their own rights.
Yeah.
Like the second one, I like better than the first. I go 2, 1, 3, and even the third one, I still really like.
Yeah. Once again, it goes back to I like Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
So
In a
yeah,
way,
fuck
this
you.
is vampire killing Deadpool, kind of. You know.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, fuck yeah, Blade.
Blade 1, man. It's just so classic for me. everything about it. The action. I love martial arts. Wesley Snipes.
Wesley
You know,
fucking Snipes.
Wesley Snipes was amazing. He revolutionized that character. Kind of
I
like
just-
the
I
way
just-
Heath
I just-
Ledger revolutionized, Joker.
Joker, yeah. I just loved watching like Wesley Snipes walk down a hallway and just dudes are just flying at him, and he's just like not even looking, just like just
Yeah.
block punch the guys down, block kick the guys down. I'm
then
like,
it-
Wesley Snipes, why are you
He's
so
just
good at martial
cursing,
arts?
drives around like his muscle car. Like he was fucking awesome in that movie. And like you said, Deacon Frost, badass. I agree, badass.
I like that they still use the iconic vampire like tropes and stuff, the things that that take them down. But then like there's a scene where Deacon Frost is walking through in the daytime, and he's
got,
like
sun
makeup
black,
on's like,
yeah,
oh, your
sun
mascara's
black.
running, and he's like,
Yeah, he was crazy in
Walks
that,
away.
man.
I
He's
was
like
like,
this
oh,
little
this is
girl,
awesome.
like with the nail to her neck, and he was just like, he just did not care. He took like the leader out, killed him like execution style on the beach, took his fangs out, then let him burn. Like, yeah, fucking awesome movie, man. Awesome movie.
And in all of them, they all get the scene where he's weak. And in the first one, he feeds on the female
Yeah.
lead. In the second one, he falls into the vat of blood. And in the third one, it comes early, but he gets the shot to the mouth when they're rescuing him. And he has this moment, and he does it in all three of them. Yeah, he literally, I'm standing up, and he's smash punched over and goes, that big giant
I'm a fucking
stretch.
vampire.
And yep, this is exactly what I needed. And that's when, he does the ass kicking where he's not looking, just and good for you, Blade. Very nice.
Thank you, Wesley Snipes.
Thank you, Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes. That's such an awesome name.
Yeah, really.
Passenger 57.
So then, like we said, Watchmen's still your number one. What's your number one?
Man of Steel.
Very nice.
Man of Steel.
I wanted to put Man of Steel on there. I probably should have.
I jumbled with it for a while.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it, but I couldn't.
They finally delivered a Superman movie that I can really get behind. And I love Superman. And the thing is, they had Superman and Zod, and it was just a nice back and forth that they had. Like Michael Shannon as Zod was a perfect choice.
I think the reason why I didn't make it on my top is the reasons why I liked the movie was mainly anytime Michael Shannon was around. Not that I dislike Henry Cavill, it's just I love Michael Shannon's performance. So anytime I want to watch the movie, I'm just like, all right, when's the next Zod scene? Like, that's all I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for all his fucking lines because, I don't know, it's just fucking awesome. And the action was great, but that's why I didn't.
I mean, like, I love the action so much. With fucking Feyre Old just, like, running around,
Yes.
just kicking ass. She's
was
so
badass.
fucking
Yes.
slamming and just kicking ass and
The way
shit.
she just like glides across the floor.
Just,
Want
like,
Superman
zipping,
to do that in a fucking
yeah,
movie,
just fucking
man.
zipping around, just kicking
He can
dudes.
do that.
Just-
Why
just-
hasn't he done that? He did it in was it Superman versus the Elite?
Yeah.
Just like that's cool.
Just
I do
dipping
like that
himself.
one scene though at the very end where he falls and he rises and flies off. Like really, yeah, it just shows that he's got. I don't have to be standing. I don't live straight up. Like I am literally just bending all
What if you
this
start
around
like
me.
laying down like Rose in Titanic?
Yeah.
You start floating like that.
Show me like one of your
His
French
cape is
girls.
like down there though.
Show me like one of your Kryptonians.
Well, I just watched Megamind. Have you seen that? It's the Will Ferrell animation one where he's got a big blue head.
I haven't seen that one.
But anyway, the good guy in that is called Metro Man, and he's chasing somebody around, and he does just that. He's flying next to him. The guy's trying to escape, and he's lounging like, "Where do you go?" And so it's kind of fun. I love that movie too. That's
Yeah.
another really good one.
like I've watched that movie several times over, and just a lot of times I'll just.
Lois Lane that much.
I mean, like she's all the other things I'm watching that movie didn't hurt with her being in there didn't really take it away from me because I'm just. And
I think she affected Batman vs Superman more than she affected
yeah, that's what
Man of Steel.
that's what she did. That's how I feel. And then anytime she was on the screen, I'm like, why is Lois Lane a redhead? Whatever.
I also
Let's go
like
on
how
to
she
some more
figured it out at least, though.
Yeah.
Because, watching the old ones, the Christopher Reeve ones, just because the time and the period and the way they played it is classic and good in its own sense, at least for the first two. when they start getting to 3 and Quest for Peace and all that, they really start. But whatever. Watching her not understand that Chris Reeves is both Clark Kent and Superman kind of works. Kind of. It just in the sense of the comic book nostalgia, these are the characters. Watching Kate Bosworth not understand that fucking Brandon Routh was Superman and Clark Kent, that was just too much.
Dude,
It's too
I need to
fucking
rewatch that
mind-blowing. So in this one, it's just great that Lois Lane's just, I did the back work. I'm the only one who's smart and, like, wanting enough to do it, so don't worry, your secret's safe with me, but what the fuck are you doing here? What's going on?
Yeah,
I
that's
do
what it
enjoy that they did that with her at least.
Yeah, like,
because
like that she finds
watching
out she
another
knows.
dumb asshole going, doesn't he look kind of tall enough to be like Superman? Yes, but he can't be. He's a little too silly. Like, fucking knock that shit out. You know, I think that Brandon Routh, it's funny in the movie when they do that. She's looking at fucking Cyclops, James Marsden's in Superman, and they say, hey, isn't he about the same type? And they both look at him, and he looks up, and he just goes, and does that dorky wave, and I'm just like, that's not enough. He is Superman. So I do enjoy that at least somebody figured it out, man.
It's funny how this one guy who I work with looks exactly like Superman.
Yeah.
He's not Superman, though.
This guy who carries me in his arms. Like, if other people don't get it because they're not that close in pictures, whatever. But Lois Lane is sometimes right fucking here. Like, I can smell him. Why do you smell just like Superman? Do you use the same deodorant? Like, come on.
Does Superman sweat?
No, you're right.
No, he has his own super scent.
That was like a
Well, he
legitimate
can't
question.
sweat, yeah.
No, he doesn't sweat. He has his own super scent. He, like, you know how some people have a certain scent to them. He has his own scent, I would believe.
The super scent.
Yeah. And Clark Kent has that scent too because they're
Superman.
the same fucking person.
Yeah, so, at least in that sense, yeah, the K-Pops were just, I can't believe you're the same person.
Yeah, I just like all the action scenes were fucking awesome. I like when he's fighting both of them at the same time. He even grabs Feyora and just throws her into the other dude. Uses her as a fucking weapon to fight. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then you see,
No, I don't like that movie. He kills way too many civilians and blows up way too many buildings.
Thank you. Well, and then there's fucking Russell Crowe with his fucking Kryptonian martial arts, just straight.
Fuck yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Maximus.
I'm like, shit.
Real badass, yeah.
I'm like, no, leave fucking Kal-El there and send Russell Crowe to Earth. Let's get this shit going.
Yeah.
General Zod's gonna get there, and Russell Crowe's gonna be like, nah, bro, I'm Superman now. He's just gonna straight Kryptonian kick his ass.
Could you imagine?
That
That's
would
why I
be
like
Those powers?
If what?
Russell Crowe came to Earth and he had those powers. Jor-El.
That'd be cool. That's
be
what
nuts.
I was gonna mention. Justice League Gods and Monsters. How Superman is actually the son of
Zod.
Zod. And I was just like, man,
That's dope.
that's cool.
Then it has the very scene at the end where Zod just delivers his fucking awesome speech. Look at this. This could have been our new Krypton, but you chose them over us. I was born to protect Krypton. That is the sole reason for why I was born. That line, that whole speech.
Amazing.
It
He
ends
delivers
with,
it.
where did you train?
Farm.
Great.
I think all the action's great. I think where the two big things come from his parents is, it's too big, Mom. The world's too big. We'll make it small.
Controlling his powers.
And then his father, "Oh, can't I just pretend to be normal? Can't I just pretend to be your son? Oh, Clark, you are my son."
But nah.
But
That's
also,
where,
he
I
was
can
also a
watch-
dick when he was just like, maybe you should have let those kids die.
Dude, it's...
Superman is in a tough situation though. Especially at that time. Like,
It's rough.
he's a little kid.
It's a rough choice, and I like how they put that in there.
Like he's a little kid at the time.
It's the collector, Benicio del Toro.
When Superman is an adult, he can, dip out and leave the scene and not be bothered and let the world cool down. As a kid, he can't do that.
Yeah.
True.
And as a kid, he's more influenced
And
to
he's-
do as he's told as well.
And also at the
If a
same
kid
time,
got picked up by the military and all of a sudden, like, you know, this is what you do. This is like, of course, he's going to be scared regardless of what he can do. It's jarring.
and the thing is, like
So he's
the
gotta
world's
stay
the
hidden.
world's gonna see him not one. They're gonna see him one as being a monster and two as being a little kid. So it's like, well, he's a little kid. Let's just snatch him up because that's what you can do to little kids.
Brainwash.
You can't do that
number
to a
one.
grown man,
Number
yeah.
one, he's a little kid, so you can snatch him up. And number two, he's a monster, so we have to snatch him up.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what, Clark, you wait till you're old enough to make decisions for yourself, and then the world's just gonna have to trust for you to make the right decisions.
decisions.
Because when he gets old enough, the world's, well, fuck the world. He can do whatever the fuck he fucking wants.
Yeah. That's why he made it onto my
So it's like it's
5 hero list.
that's one of my favorite things about that movie is that his mother was his parents are just trying to teach Clark how to, number one, be a human being and live in this world. Number two, deal with the issues that he has with his powers and stuff, being an alien. And number three, protect himself from this world that he lives in.
And I think, too, the line that stands out then in its sequel to Batman Superman is, you know, be their god, be their protector, or be none of it. You don't owe these people anything. And, you know, it's almost reminiscent then of Catwoman saying that you don't owe them anymore. You've given them everything.
Not everything. Not yet. And then it just makes so much sense when Zod comes down there and he's just over here like, we have the power, let's just take it. And he's already an adult. And he's like, I'm an adult and I am now the man that I want to be, and I'm not going to let you take it.
Word.
So that's
Shit, man.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, you might have bumped that up to number 5. Might have bumped Deadpool off. Fucking A, man.
I really enjoy it. Very good pick for your number one. Now, mine might be controversial to you, too, because you didn't even put it on your list and said you couldn't until you see it more. I went for Civil War.
us.
You know, have I seen it as many times as I want? No, but I've seen it twice in the theaters and actually just recently somehow watched it with subtitles from Japan. Somehow, yeah. Watched it again and it's just so good.
It was,
and-
it was
Yeah.
downloaded into his brain, and somehow he watched it.
But like you said, with the ensemble and just everybody there and every key for me hits and just makes me sit in awe of it the whole time. Just feeling like that little kid on a Saturday morning, 8 a.m. You know, it's like when it comes out on DVD, all I'm thinking about is just literally waiting. It'll come out on a Tuesday. Damn, that'll suck. I'll have to wait till Saturday, wake up and just bowl a
Binge.
big shoulder, it's big freaking bowl of sugary cereal and just watching and just sitting in that awe of it. Just that big dopey smile. Just, yay. Look at all of them go. This is great. Is that a Star Wars reference? Did Spider-Man just say, holy shit? Look at Giant Man. Like, look at all this. And it's just held together so nice. And yay. Thank you. So, for that feeling and just joy alone, I mean, I get a sense of that in all of them. But just start to finish. And then, like, I literally just, this movie is a high that just gets kicks of higher. You know, I'm already so happy, but the Aunt May scene, that Spider-Man scene, just, that's so good. And, like, isn't this you? And he's catching cars. And, like I said, my favorite Spider-Man line, the one that sold me on Homecoming and makes me know that they're going to do a good one, was, damn, I thought I was having a good day. I found this DVD player, algebra test, nailed it, you know, caught the bus, and just, I loved it. And then at
just
the
food.
end, and it's number one for me, and I thank them for that giddiness. I mean, wonderful.
It was actually one of those movies where it had so much going on, but it didn't get bogged down by it.
Yeah.
All the stuff that was going on in the movie didn't pull away from the movie. Like with Batman, Superman, they were just trying to do so much, and it sort of pulled away from the movie. With Civil War, they were trying to do so much, and they succeeded in doing it. Or at least that's how I feel.
I think I said some sort of context in terms of weaving.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's still good here. They seemed for Batman Superman to try to take too many materials and make them into one solid piece, if you will. Whereas they took a lot of materials here that didn't clash, that grooved, and snapped them together and weaved this magical blanket of Civil War, if you will. It just...
They introduced 2 characters in it.
Yeah.
They didn't, and they did it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine if Civil War had a speedster, you know? Like, imagine if Quicksilver was in that fight.
I would. I'd love that. Because we were talking about the X-Men movies and how they are, but those Quicksilver scenes in the last 2 now have stolen it.
The X-Men movies.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, it was like the Quicksilver scenes and the Magneto scenes for me.
I think it's like if they keep making these X-Men movies with Quicksilver in it, it's going to be arbitrary for them just to have one scene where he just... He's...
Well, yeah, imagine him in that Ultron fight, you know, instead of doing what Aaron Taylor Johnson did, if we did it slow-mo, of him just going slow and one bad guy, 2, and moving their arms, and even if that was with the Chitauri in the first one, if we got him that early.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, if he was running through Civil War, though, he would take out all the teams too quick.
Yeah.
You need mass bad guys to put him to better use. If not, it's just, what are we doing here? Quicksilver, just take care of this mess. But it's funny now, too. Ever since Deadpool, like, got all of this praise, every single X-Men, it's like, I want to do a movie with Deadpool. Wouldn't that be cool? And, like, Evan Peters jumped on it. What's her name with the flaming sword? Quick.
Olivia Munn.
Yes, Olivia Munn said, Psylocke said, I want a movie with Deadpool. Everybody's just trying to jump on his happy train. So I think that's
It was
fun.
a very fun movie to watch.
Yeah.
Very fun movie.
So I would love to. I think that if out of all the ones I heard, a Deadpool and a Quicksilver movie would be funny. Imagine Deadpool just having the fast mouth and having Evan Peters like zipping around. Hey, what are you doing? Will you fucking stand still? What are you fucking doing? Like, hey, this guy's really fast and breaking the fourth wall and shit.
He'd freeze time, so Evan Peters just like, this guy's really
That's
fast.
fucking great. $5, $10 Harry Potter owl for you. The only person to be able to stop Quicksilver is Deadpool while breaking the fourth wall. Wonderful.
Yep. There you go. Those were our lists.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think next time we'll come back, we kind of hinted at them, but we'll give you our top 5 heroes and villains.
Yep.
This time, yeah, we didn't really know that this was going to take as long as it did, and we're happy we did. I thought we talked about great stuff. So we'll save those 2 for our next Geeking Around.
Yes, yes.
In the meantime, while we post these up, if you want, go to facebook.com/Gluttons for Geekdom. What are your favorites? Top 5s, top whatever you want, let us know. And let us know what you think of our lists.
What should have been on the list, if anything? Throw up some good points. You know,
We're interested.
you all have opinions, and we want to know what you guys think.
Yeah, give me that.
In the meantime, I have been Nick James.
Bobby Deuce.
John.
Take care.